Hi, my name's Andrew. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to review a fundraising investor database case study, and this is for a client in the US that was looking for a database of boutique investment banks to raise $19 million in capital. Just a little bit of information about myself. In the past 2 years, I've helped over 200 clients with their fundraising initiatives, pitch decks, investor databases, and targeting and more. On my Fiverr profile, you can click the link below to get more information on my services. My databases include venture capital, private equity, angel groups, investment banks, family investment offices, and more. I also help clients with pitch deck reviews and investor presentations. If you're getting ready to send your presentation out to an investor, I have a service on Fiverr where I will either review it for you or completely rewrite it depending on the circumstances. About 80% of the presentations that I get sent are not suitable to be sent out to investors. This video highlights a database of investment banks I recently created for a USA-based client. What is this client looking for? So this client was looking for $19 million and their sector is in industrial, and I'll just keep it at that just for confidentiality reasons. They're based in the US, and my database source I used for this was investment banks. The number of contacts that they would like to end up with is around 50. So why do we target smaller boutique investment bank groups for this client? This client is really looking for smaller investment banks and ones that are a little bit more approachable. So I just eliminated all the giants that you know by name, so that they can focus on smaller ones. It's a smaller amount of money. $19 million is not a large amount of capital to raise. But basically, to start off with, the advantages of targeting boutique investment banks are personalized service. Unlike larger institutions, boutique banks often prioritize a select number of clients, ensuring more attention to your specific needs and a personalized banking experience. So that's obviously the top reason. Specialized expertise. Many boutique banks focus on specific industries or sectors, and this provides clients with a deep industry knowledge and tailored advice. Flexible solutions. Smaller banks tend to be more agile and open to creative deal structures, which can be advantageous for unique capital raising requirements. Local market knowledge. If you're focusing on a particular geographic region, boutique banks can offer deep local market insights. And direct access to decision makers. With fewer bureaucratic layers, you often get direct access to top tier business professionals and decision makers. And one of the things that this database does include is some key contacts or positions in their direct emails. So what type of funding and typical limits? Well, for private placements, those are ideal for companies not yet ready for public markets. Deal sizes can range from $5 million to $100 million depending on the bank's and client requirements. Mergers and acquisitions advisory. If you're looking to merge with or acquire another company, boutique banks can facilitate deals up to $500 million, so it's large. So even boutique banks have the ability to finance large tickets. Debt financing, so that's loans or bonds for companies seeking to leverage their operations. Loan amounts can range from 10 to 200 million. Again, a wide range there. VC and PE, although not the primarily for most boutique banks, some do have strong relationships with venture capital and private equity firms. Then they can lead to funding rounds of $1 million to $50 million. One of the things I always like to mention when people are looking at raising capital is treat it like a business development source. Every senior person that's on this database knows 10 people that may be able to help you if they can't, and that's one of the key things when you're going to raise capital, is understand this connection that you're going to make is going to be a cold connection, but it may lead up to something warmer later on, and that's something that I always try to emphasize with people when they start fundraising, because fundraising is tough. You get a lot of no's, but if you go into it asking for advice, a lot of times you're going to come up with funds. There's an old adage in the fundraising business that goes, if you look for funds, you're going to get advice, and if you look for advice, it'll lead you to the funds. And lastly, restructuring and recapitalization, which is ideal for companies seeking to optimize their balance sheets. Deal sizes vary but can range from 10 to 200 million. How do I find these contacts? I have a master database of 400,000 contacts. That includes venture capital, private equity, angel groups, angel investors, family investment offices, hedge funds, high net worth and ultra high net worth investors. So what did the final database include? Again, this is one of my smaller searches. If you've watched my previous videos, you know that in some cases the total contacts can reach 5, 10, 15,000. But this is really small. This is a niche ticket item. So we really ended up with 60 total contacts. Emails, it was a blend of company and key contacts, totaled out to around 90. We did not include any LinkedIn addresses in this. One thing is because there's 60 websites, so there's basically a website per company, you can go in there and you can check people's LinkedIn addresses. One of the nice things about the investor bank databases and websites is they all have contacts there. They're not like the private equity and the venture capital where all those guys are hidden and you've got to really have a special database like some of the ones I have to find them. So again, this includes key contacts with titles and email addresses. Is this database large enough to find capital for your company? Well, there isn't a one-size-fits-all answer. There are some considerations to help gauge the situation, and one of the reasons why I like to emphasize this as a particular subject when looking for databases is because when people hear I have 400,000 contacts, I've had many people contact me and say, how much for all of them? Well, I'm not going to sell you all of them because nobody needs all of them unless you were a group that raises capital and is in the business. In other words, institutional or a corporate group. In other words, I have entertained the sale of many of my large databases to those groups, and those are ones that people can contact me on for more information. So getting back to, is the database large enough to find capital for your company? Quality over quantity. It's better to have 60 well-researched contacts that fit the profile of investors you're looking for than 200 random contacts with minimal relevance to your industry or funding needs. That happens so often. I have a lot of contact with other people on different forums and platforms. I see some people saying, hey, I have 5,000 investment bankers. You don't need 5,000. You need 50 or 60 that you know that you can contact by name. Secondly, industry standards. Some industries, especially niche ones, may have fewer active investors than broader markets. If you're in such an industry, 60 could be a significant portion of potential interested parties. And it's easier to manage a database when it's under 100 of anything, no matter what business you're in. I sold luxury real estate, luxury property, and I managed a team of about 40 people at one time, and I told every single one of them, get a target list of 100 people. When you're done with that, get another one and work on. It's better than having one of 5,000 that you don't know what they're looking for. You can only handle one large asset transaction at one time. I know this for a fact. It took me over a year to sell a hotel that I was working on full time, and so that's something that you have to remember. Market conditions. If the market is bullish and there's a lot of liquidity, then chances are higher that out of 60 contacts you'll find interested parties. However, in a bear market or during economic downturns, even 200 contacts might seem insufficient. We're kind of in a good market right now, so that's why 60 is a really good target. And referrals and networks. Warm introductions can significantly increase the probability of success. If any of the 60 contacts are through referrals or existing networks, and chances are higher. I have another database that I recently worked on for the Middle East, and it took me about 150 hours to work on. And what I did with that database is I actually created touch points, key target lines, introduction email, subject matters, and entry lines to contact people with the goal that you're going to be contacting very senior people, and these aren't the people that are going to do the deal with you. You want to find out who in their company or in the industry is somebody that you're going to want to contact. So remember, out of these 60, and I know for a fact, if I were trying to raise funds and I had this database, I could get at least 10 names of people that were closer to the 60 that are on the list. And if you keep that in mind, remember, fundraising is a lot like business development. Recommendation, instead of focusing purely on the number, focus on the feedback. If you're getting meetings and the feedback is constructive, then you're likely on the right track. If, however, you're facing consistent rejections without meetings or getting some similar negative feedback, it might be time to revisit the proposal or expand the outreach strategy. I had a client contact me about 6 months ago and said that they contacted 150 people to raise funds for their startup. And I didn't ask them anything about their startup. I just said, send me your pitch presentation. They sent me the pitch presentation and it was a mess. And I said, listen, you've wasted 150 bullets by sending this presentation. So what we did was I fixed their pitch deck for them. I gave them a new list of contacts to go out to and some email copy on what they should do to go out to the ones that they've already kind of burned their bridges on. And that helped them get more contacts and more meetings. So remember that. Sometimes it's not the contact. Sometimes it's what you're sending them. So let's take a look at the database. So now we're over on the database section, and as you saw in the previous part of the video, I ended up with around 65 or 60. There's about probably 66, 67 there total. And I started off with about 895. So of course I eliminated all the large groups, went through them. So those are all investment banks or groups that are in investment banking. So we finished going through that. This is basically a database that took me about 3 days to work through. So it wasn't a large one, but it was a very refined one. So on this one here, we've got company, country, they're all US, city. You can see here they're spread throughout the USA. I've got the website, I've got descriptions of them, and I've just hidden it here just to eliminate, hide the names for now. The services, mergers and acquisitions, venture capital, of course they're all investment. They all do investment banking, so that's the main course of business, and then preferred sectors of what they might be interested in. Some are might just say middle market, diversified, and then a little bit of information. Real estate's in there a lot, private equity's in there a lot. So for this company that actually ordered the database from me, they wanted a wide range of smaller groups. Now there are a few groups in here that are on the larger side, but for the most part these are ones that are small enough that I was able to get a fair bit of information on what they look at. So we've got about 50 emails out of the 65. Now one thing to keep in mind, a lot of these type of firms do not have emails on their website. They have a forum. But in most cases I've been able to pick up a key contact person. So you've got 50 of those emails and I've got 40. So you've got about 90 emails, and you can see here of the senior people, founders, managing partners, managing directors, CEOs. Those are all senior people that this group can contact, make an introduction, talk about their business, and move forward with hopefully a smaller target list of people that are interested in their services or direction of other people in the industry to contact. Are you looking for updated investor databases? My databases include venture capital, private equity, family offices, angel investors, angel groups, and high net worth investors with over 400,000 verified global contacts. And be sure to check out my full database of family investment offices, the perfect way to access ultra high net worth investors. This is the largest database of family investment offices that you're able to access. There's over 10,000 contacts. Click my Fiverr link below for more information. Thank you for watching this video.